Hello, good morning, everyone. Very warm welcome to babycode free IELTS classes. I'm Tanu Vermani, an IDP certified trainer and a TEFL TESOL certified. My live session number 5, and the topic of our session is MCQs and map-based questions. So, what are multiple choice questions? Multiple choice questions are those questions where you will be asked one of the three possible answers of the given question. So, we will look in this type of detail. But here you need to have skills like understanding the specific points in detail and your ability to have the overall idea of main points. Now, what are the three types of multiple choice questions? You will find four sorts of questions. One is you have to choose one of the answers. Second is you have to choose the third sentence, like you have to choose the sentences which completes the later part. And in third, you will choose the appropriate picture. And the fourth one is you will have list of multiple choice questions. Now see the first one, short answer questions. Now here you will be given a statement and you have to choose appropriate answer from the options. You can see the example here. There is a statement and then you have three options. So you have to select one. Second is sentence completion MCQ. So here you will be given a statement as a question, right? A sentence as a question, and you have the option to complete it. So you can see 35th and then you have three options to complete. Third one is pictures multiple choice question. Now here you will have list of options in the form of pictures and you have to choose right picture by listening to the record carefully. It is considered as difficult listening questions. Fourth one is endless questions. Now you will given a question statement and a list of possible answers. You have to choose more than one option, right? So this is called multiple choice. Common problems. Now, what are the common problems that you face in MCQs, right? Most likely, you will hear all of the listed options in the multiple choice question in the recording. It means you have to choose an answer just because it is mentioned in the recording so that you can reduce your marks. So, focus on selecting the right answer. Second is frequently, the meaning of three choices will be similar. You struggle to identify the differences between them. So you have to figure out the difference based on the keywords you found in those options, right? Third one, usually the answer will be given in synonyms or in the paraphrase form. So don't expect that you will hear the exact words, right? Think of synonym and paraphrases of the main words. Though it's a listening test, but still you need to have reading skills. You have to read and underline your main words in the question. You have the ability to understand the option also. Now, what is a common mistake in listening to the audio is without understanding what is the purpose and context. So when you listen to the recording, determine the context in order to observe the information accurately. Next is another general mistake which students do is leaving the answer blank. There is no negative marking for wrong answer. So you can make a guess and based on the understanding of your audio. Now we talked about common problem. Let's look at some of the tips for the multiple choice question. First is you have to highlight the keywords, relate those keywords so that you understand what you got from listening to the recording so that you can choose the correct option. Second is read through options. Highlight options which are similar to each other and understand difference between other options. Third one, don't choose an option by picking up the words from audio. Without reflection, they could trick you. So think and choose the answer. Fourth is don't spend your time on one question. Move on to the next question, return back to the question you left. This will save your time also. Get to the listening question paper, practice multiple choice questions so that you can perfectly find your answer process. Next is when you hear words such as but or however, be cautious. It means that speaker will qualify the preceding statement, right? Seventh is read the question carefully. You are going to choose the letter A, B, C, not a word. So be careful while you transfer the answers to the answer sheet at the end. Understand what type of question you are asked to answer. There are three types which you learned in this article. You can easily answer the questions by grasping question type, right? If you feel that a certain answer is correct, mark it up, listening to the audio so that you are sure about it. Lastly, think of synonyms, phrases like paraphrasing word of the main words what you hear so that you can pick the right answer, right? Now, how you're going to deal with this step-by-step strategy? First is reading the questions. Now, before speakers start, always read your question. Look at the importance. It is important that you understand what type of question you are going to answer. Whether it is a short answer MCQ, whether it is sentence, completion, picture, or list, so that it will be in your mind that how you have to answer. Second is check the title. Now, sometimes a title will be given for the questions. If you find it, then notice and read that. It will make you understand the context also. You can come to know what information you will be hearing in recording. Listening with intention so that you can absorb the required information. Third one, highlight or underline your keywords. It will give you a direction so that you can choose the right answer. Generate some synonyms related to the keywords. More attention to the recording if you hear the keywords related synonym while listening. Read the options and think of synonyms, right? You will not find the exact words. Expect to hear the same meaning of the answer options rather than same word. So when you are listening to the audio, try to grasp the meaning rather than picking the words. Okay? It can help you to indicate the correct answer also. Don't fall into trap of distractors. In audio, they will use distractors to challenge your skills. So that you know what distractor is. We have already covered the session on distractors, right? Write the answer. Now answers will be letter, not the words. So write the correct letter, not the answer. Make a guess. If you do not know any answer, instead of leaving it a blank space, you can write a guessed answer. It could be correct also. Now let's listen to this recording and let's do multiple choice question here. It's an exercise for you. I'm playing the audio, so listen it carefully.
The only coelacanth population in existence. Originally, it was a concern that the coelacanth might have a very limited range, and that overfishing along the Comoros Islands might wipe it out. However, scientists were amazed when, on July the 30th, 1998, an American scientist discovered a coelacanth population in Indonesia. Dr. Mark Erdman was on a honeymoon trip to the area investigating a coral reef research site when he spotted a strange fish being wheeled into the fish market. He recognized the fish as a coelacanth and snapped a picture before it was sold. Dr. Erdman's subsequent research revealed that the people from Sulawesi had a name for it: Raja, King of the Sea. The Sulawesi coelacanth colony is about 10,000 kilometers east of where the coelacanths were previously known to occur in the western Indian Ocean. Both Sulawesi and Comoros coelacanths are quite different from all other living fish. But perhaps the most interesting feature of the coelacanth is that it has paired lobed fins, which move in a similar fashion to our arms and legs. Coelacanths also have an extra lobe on their tail and a vertebral column that is not fully similar fashion to our arms and legs. Coelacanths also have an extra lobe on their tail and a vertebral column that is not fully developed. They are the only living animal to have a fully functional intercranial joint, a division that separates the ear and brain from the nasal organs and eye, and allows the front part of the head to be lifted when the fish is feeding. The brown Sulawesi coelacanth and the steel blue Comoros coelacanth share these unusual characteristics. The discovery of the coelacanth in 1938 is still considered to be the zoological find of the century. This living fossil comes from a lineage of fish that was thought to have been extinct since the time of the dinosaurs. Coelacanths are known from the fossil record dating back over 360 million years, and peaked in abundance about 240 million years ago. Before 1938, they were believed to have become extinct approximately 80 million years ago, after mysteriously disappearing from the fossil record. How could the coelacanth disappear for over 80 million years, and then turn up alive and well in the 20th century? The answer seems to be that fossil coelacanths appeared to live in environments with clay sedimentation with plenty of volcanic activity. Modern coelacanths, both in the Comoros and Sulawesi, inhabit caves and overhangs in vertical marine reefs at about 200 meters, environments not conducive to fossil creation. In 1991, scientists got a better understanding of the fish when the Comoros got their independence from France, and French restrictions on research were lifted. This allowed scientists to study the fish off the Comoros Islands. As the animal hides in underwater caves some 300 to 700 feet down during the day and comes out at night to feed, diving is not an option, and previously only fishermen specimens had been available for study. But this time the scientists had their own submarine, so they could study the coelacanth in its natural habitat through portholes.
That is the end of section.
Now you can check your answers here: 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, and explanation also is given. Okay. Let's move on to map and plan labeling. Now, what are plan and labeling? You need to label the map with the correct letter for the question by listening to the audio, and there will be questions you need to label the unnamed area by hearing the audios also. The pattern of the map and plan labeling questions are little similar, but in plan you need to label the building, but in map you are asked to map the town. So for clear understanding, let's look at some of the sample questions. Now see, this is a sample map labeling, walking tour map of the botanical garden. This is again a map. Here the questions are like 6 to 10, and you need to label with A to H. This is a plan labeling question, 11 to 15, and you have to label with correct letters A to I. Okay. Now, what are the tips? First is instructions are the key. Now you need to first identify that what you're going to respond to this map labeling question by reading the instructions carefully. From the instruction, you will clearly understand how many words and what kind of words you need to answer. Write the correct letter A to K to the questions 1 to 6. Focus on the label parts. Title and label parts in the map and the plan question is the key aspect. So look at the title, which help you to know what basis of audio you're going to hear. Put yourself in the map or plan. Imagine that you are in the place and try to figure out what are all the places that can be located nearby. You can start by predicting where the person will start from and what can be the places that are in the right, left, or front, behind. Focus on the answer also. Recording will carry information where you can identify answers, right? Neglect the distractors. Look for some words like but, however, no, sorry. These are the distracting words. Do the note taking. You are allowed to take notes. Jot down your ideas. Transfer your answers because it will help you in finding your correct. Look at the synonyms. Always predict your possible answer. Look for the map vocabulary also. See the map vocabulary here. You can just save it. Now let's look at the audio recording. This is the last thing we are going to do. Listen to this.
Listen and answer questions.
Since it is a planned project, it also becomes indigenous trees that are essential to the regional vegetation. Since it is a planned project, it also becomes a useful centre for research on the conservation of plant species. Actually, this region is too big to be called a garden. It covers about 30 hectares of land, which is protected by the Central Forest Service management of the country. As you can see in this map, there are no concrete structures anywhere in this area. You'll see only landscapes and narrow paths lightly cleared for walking. These special pathways are called the garden walks. We are here at the Botanical Garden Office, and there's an L-shaped garden walk from here right up to the forest zone. The first square section on the left is the nursery, with saplings of some of the most exotic plants and trees. You can buy everything you like when we complete the tour. From here, we'll be walking the track to the 2 forest areas that have the native trees and smaller plants that are used for landscaping the local urban areas. The native tree zone is here, immediately behind the nursery, and next to it is the non-native trees zone. We are now looking at the huge fenced area on the west. You can see an area with fencing. This is the exotic forest zone. Several species of vegetation and insects that breed in this land will be destroyed or lose their habitat due to trampling by visitors. So entry is allowed for researchers only. There's a smaller garden walk going up north beyond the fencing. It leads to the research centre, which is built of eco-friendly construction material, has natural heating and cooling technology, and uses solar energy. This building is not open to visitors, but we will visit the exhibition in the smaller extension of this building, not the larger one. It has a separate entrance within the research centre. We will see a short documentary on the importance of forest conservation, followed by a talk by an expert on how you can contribute to tree conservation. After we tour the nursery and the exhibition in the research centre, we will gather in the Shamiana for lunch. It's on the left as we head back to the garden office. Meals in the open are a unique experience, and I am sure you will enjoy it. After lunch, we will head to the main entrance. To the left, you will see a circular garden with a display of colourful ornamental plants. On the other side of this garden walk, there is a beautiful topiary display. You'll get to see the topirists at work trimming plants into various shapes of birds, animals, and other objects. This garden walk connects the botanical garden to the village nearby. Most workers are local and use this pathway, but it is also open for morning walkers or visitors who want to have a glimpse of the rural life around. You will be paying for your purchases here at the garden office as we exit the premises.
Now let's look at the second recording. This is a plan labeling question.
You'll hear the librarian of a new town library talking to a group of people who are visiting the library.
Okay, everyone. So, here we are at the entrance to the town library. My name is Anne, and I'm the chief librarian here, and you'll usually find me at the desk just by the main entrance here. So, I'd like to tell you a bit about the way the library is organised and what you'll find where. And you should all have a plan in front of you. Well, as you see, my desk is just on your right as you go in. And opposite this, the first room on your left has an excellent collection of reference books and is also a place where people can read or study peacefully. Just beyond the librarian's desk on the right is a room where we have up-to-date periodicals such as newspapers and magazines. And this room also has a photocopier, in case you want to copy any of the articles. If you carry straight on, you'll come into a large room, and this is the main library area. There is fiction in the shelves on the left, and non-fiction materials on your right, and on the shelves on the far wall, there is an excellent collection of books relating to local history. We're hoping to add a section on local tourist attractions too, later in the year. Through the far door in the library, just past the fiction shelves, is a seminar room, and that can be booked for meetings or talks. And next door to that is the children's library, which has a good collection of stories and picture books for the under 11s. Then there's a large room to the right of the library area. That's the multimedia collection, where you can borrow DVDs and so on. And we also have CD-ROMs you can borrow to use on your computer at home. It was originally the art collection, but that's been moved to another building. And that's about it. Oh, there's also the library office on the left of the librarian's desk. Okay. Now, does anyone have any questions? Yes, thank you, sir.
Now you can check your answers for both of the exercises. Okay. So we have covered the multiple choice question, the map based question, and plan labeling also. So start practicing from the babycode application. You can check out our live session on YouTube, even on the babycode app, right? Stay tuned for the next session. I'm going to cover up something new. Bye bye. Take care.